look at this 2000 Pursuit 3400. And let's just go straight to the bad stuff. It's been on the hard for like 9 months. Boom. You hear that? The laminated hull side. So this forward anchor locker drain, look at that, see that? Failed. And when it failed, water that got through the anchor locker up forward here drained down and out, and then some of it came out of here, but most of it went into the hull side. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Boat Restoration by Ben. On today's episode, we are completely gutting and restoring the hull sides on my 2000 Pursuit 3400, and it has been an insane project to watch unfold. I mean, we are well underway, and this whole thing has been cut, stripped, and ground down. And if you've been following along, you know it has been a heck of a process. So bear with me. This is going to be a couple part video to show off everything that's been done so far. As always, like and subscribe to the channel, but I appreciate you guys watching. Enjoy the content. This is what you've been looking forward to, the 2000 Pursuit 3400 full hull side repair. Here she is. All right, so this is the issue we're dealing with. This anchor locker drain failed, and now you can literally push into the hull side because this whole thing is delaminated. So if you can see, we've got a couple tape marks here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. That's 5 sections of new coring that we're going to install, because spider cracking in this paint comes all the way back to this area here. So even though it may not be as severe in this section, there's still some delamination going on. So our game plan actually is to cut this whole section out from this hull dividing line down to midsection of the boot when it transitions to from balsa coring to solid glass. So that down below here is solid fiberglass. This is balsa coring up, and there's a hard line right here at this divider. We're gonna cut out from divider all the way up to the bow area right here. Remove this entire piece, lay it aside, remove all the coring underneath, clear it all out, and then put brand new coring in there. Use resin to fill, so lots of fiberglass being used, probably some biaxial e-glass fiberglass. So yeah, this is gonna be quite the job. I'm gonna be helping with some of this, but I'm leaving most of it to the professionals. In the meantime, I'm actually going to pop each of these plastic through hull fittings out, which you can see a lot of them are fairly deteriorated, and replace these with stainless steel through hull fittings. So it'll look a little nicer, and it'll be a better fitting in general that isn't gonna fail like that anchor locker fitting did at the front. And as you can tell as well, I'm having the whole bottom sanded and redone. So they just finished sanding everything. They scraped all the old bottom paint off, and they're gonna get to painting brand new bottom on the boat, 2 coats of Interprotect epoxy, and then probably 2 or 3 coats of Trinidad Pro Black HD, which is a hard bottom paint. And we're gonna bring the waterline up probably about 1 inch into this white here. I have a little bubbling in my paint here where it was pretty consistently exposed to water, so when it was painted originally, I'm sure they got fairly aggressive on the bottom paint and left it below this little chine here, or transition. So I'm actually gonna bring that up because I get a lot of lapping at my marina, and as you can tell, you get staining on the hull side. So I might as well just bring the bottom paint line up a little bit, not have to worry about the staining, get rid of the bubbling paint, and move on from there. So I'll go ahead, pop all these through hull fittings out. I probably have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wow, all right, 13. I've got 13 I have to remove. That's gonna be quite the job. Here she sits, ready to go. Beautiful as ever. Very dirty right now. But when it's all said and done, we're gonna get everything polished. I'm gonna have the top sides waxed and polished, as well as the hull sides after we're done painting. And she should look as good, if not better, than brand new. Also, when I started to mess with this through hull fitting, which is actually the drain for my air intake vent on the side, it's very dead in this area. So we may have to extend our area of repair back. See, that's all solid. And then when you come down here, and you can see a little bit of paint cracking. So I just see that's solid. I need to check all of this. There may be some more coring that needs to be replaced than we thought. So that's exciting. I'm gonna go inside the boat now, loosen up the through hull fittings from inside, and then get back to work. She's so dirty just from sitting here. There's so much gravel that comes over from that yard up there. I guess I'll start forward in the cabin and then work my way back. Well, while we're at it, I'd like to stop and thank today's video sponsor, Private Internet Access. Private Internet Access is the world's most transparent VPN network available to you right now. A VPN, or a virtual private network, hides your IP address and safeguards your internet connection through an encrypted tunnel. Now, what's a VPN? Well, let's put it this way. Browsing the internet without a private network is like sending a private message to a very public group chat. Something you intended for no one to see, everyone's able to see. Simply open the app, click on the power button in the middle. That will instantly connect you to a safe IP address, uniquely crafted for your device. Easy as that. Private internet access can protect you from hackers, internet service providers, and others that can view your personal data. Private internet access also allows you to access any region restricted content all over the world. Not to mention, the device count is unlimited. By using my link, piavpn.com/restoration, you can get 83% off right now on private internet access. That's just $2.03 a month on top of an extra 4 months completely free. Go to piavpn.com/restoration to get your 83% off private internet access today with 4 months free. Thank you guys for watching, and let's go back to the channel. Here's the first one I have to get to. So this is just my sink drain mid-hull fitting for my kitchenette sink. So that one should be really easy to get to. I'm gonna unscrew it, remove the hose, and then undo the nut from the inside here. I probably should grab a bigger wrench, but start with that one. So money, I have this 2 and some change inch socket, and it fits. So we're gonna try and rip that out of there just like that. It's really loud. And guess what? If this doesn't work, we'll just cut it out. Alright, I'm gonna have to cut it. Well, that's one way to do it. Move on to the next one. Well, I'm glad we're doing this because this is just exposing the inevitable. These through hulls, as you can see, are wet. So that balsa coring on the inside here is wet. It's a little soft, and I'm afraid we're gonna find that all the way up the hull side. So what's gonna happen here is I gotta talk with my fiberglass guy. We will probably, depending on what it looks like, cut this whole section out on this side of the hull to make this repair. Sounds really daunting, but it may be a necessary evil. And I've already said, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it right, because we're finding wet fittings and wet hull sections. We really need to take care of all this while it's out. Now, that sucks, but that's why we got the boat cheap. So, you know, it's a great boat, great running boat. Used it all summer, put 100 hours on it. Now it's time to fix it properly, even though we're finding things that are a little disheartening, but it's part of it. That's why it's Boat Restoration by Ben, everybody. Gotta make the most of it. Now, we go into the engine room because we need to throw or pull that fitting in the corner. Pull that fitting right there. And then, where's the triple threat? On this side. Oh shoot, it's in the cabin. Dang it. Alright, I'm gonna have to go up in the cabin to get to those. That's a bummer. Alright, that's okay. Alright, I'm down to the last 3 through hulls, and I found a little compartment I didn't know anything about. It's actually behind my air conditioner. My air conditioner is underneath this seat over here in the salon. This cushion is removed, or that cushion. Remove it, and it gives you access to my charger, AC pump hookup, a few more backside electronics of my helm, my ducting, and then back down there are the 3 through hull fittings. I guess it also gives me access to the backside of some fiberglass coring, which I'm gonna see. I'm kind of curious what that's like. Let me see if I can actually. I mean, it sounds solid. A few more hose clamps to remove, and then pull my hoses off, and then those 3 through hulls. Whew, it's been a pain in the butt. I tell you what, it's been a big pain in the butt to access all this. It's really well organized, but just really difficult to get to. All right, so I got all these 3 cut up, spun, loose. I'm gonna try and pry them off from the outside here. Yeah, that's probably the easiest way to do this. Expose the wet coring. Close. Ooh, look at that spider. Sorry, dude. Did I wake you up? Reciprocating saw, since this is going to be redone anyway. Yeah, these are so gross. Can't wait to get metal ones. There we go. There it goes. See that? Nice. You know, I'm exposing balsa, and it doesn't look terrible. Looks like it's gotten a little moisture in it over time, but nothing crazy. So that's hopeful. There's that piece I just cut right through there. Boom. Those will all be stainless steel metal with rubber gaskets and O-rings on the outside. No more of this plastic jankiness. We just set the waterline height. Meantime, I just met with the fiberglass guy. So we're bringing the waterline an inch up all the way around so you can see him. He's sanding off the paint because you don't want any paint or hull paint below the waterline. It'll just bubble and get gross. So he's sanding away right now. And then Jose over here is getting ready to remove my patched piece, expose that glass. And we were just talking, actually, since what I found when I pulled these through hulls yesterday, that it's delaminated and wet. We're gonna go ahead, and I have a suspicion that it's wet all the way back to here. And this kind of solidified my suspicion yesterday when I found these two leaking water. So we're actually gonna cut a hole here. The coring goes down all the way to this lip, and then below that is all glass. So this lip here and up to here is all coring. And I think if what we find is correct here, this entire side is gonna be recored. So that's where we're at right now. So if you're curious on how these things fail, let me bring you up to speed. The whole boat is a layer of fiberglass, a layer of balsa wood, literally balsa wood, and then another layer of fiberglass. What will happen is the caulking will actually fail on these, or the plastic will get so sun faded that then water can easily get in, rainwater, splashes from running, whatever it might be. These sit above the water line, but water can still get in, and then as soon as it hits the balsa coring, it just gets wicked throughout the entire hull. So what we're finding, and what was found back here, is a huge wet spot on the other side. So now we're gonna have to recore multiple spots of the hull side on the starboard, and then where all these old 3 holes were, overcut them, glass this in with epoxy or a certain type of board that isn't wood, and then reinstall my through hull fittings so that never happens ever again. But in the meantime, Jose did a test patch here, and unfortunately our assumptions have come true. The coring is wet. You can see, literally see the water in there all the way back to this hull section. So I got a moisture meter on the way. We're gonna check a couple different spots, but we're thinking that this whole piece needs to be recored from this line down. And you can even see here, here's some of the coring he has cut out. That's what that layer looks like. That's the wet balsa coring. And then we're leaving, here's a couple pieces of the hull side, but we're leaving the inner wall intact, and that'll be our baseline for when we re-glass the coring back onto the hull, and then fiberglass this over and replace it. So we're going to town already, but if we're being optimistic, the boat should become a heck of a lot lighter when this is all said and done. But in the meantime, maintaining optimism, the port side is looking pretty good. So we're just focusing on the starboard side. Well, the cutting has begun. We've taken this entire section of hull side out, only to find exactly what we thought we would find. So from that anchor locker fitting down is all rotten, delaminated. You literally see it flexing there. This is all rotten coring. And then as you go back, you find delamination, and above where it's still adhered. So we're gonna keep cutting. It kind of looks like all of the through hulls here and below are failed, but then it transitions at some point along this line. So listen guys, end of the day, I've been getting a lot of comments and questions about why I'm doing this, where's the value, you know, why spend all this time and money into a project like this? Well, from the get-go, and this is what we're all about, is buying something at the right price that gives you the ability to invest the money that you need to invest into it to make it right. In this case, I talk about this, that hull side was a $100,000 discount. It truly was $100,000 off what they were truly asking for this boat, and is the big reason as to why I was able to buy it. And now, with a little bit of time and savings, I'm actually able to put the money into fixing the hull side properly. So I know this all looks daunting and crazy. Plenty of people have called me crazy. My own coworkers think I am too. But knowing what this issue is, standard delamination, balsa coring, 2 sides of fiberglass, and obviously the right team, that team of professionals that can actually do this kind of work, it's not as daunting. You just have to have the stomach to be able to get to the finish line and be able to make these cuts and dig into the boat like this and not just write it off as lost and broken. Remember, this section right here down is solid fiberglass, so we're talking about the hull structure above waterline. This is how they built the boats. So anyway, just thought I'd touch on that. It is a lot. It's a big project. Thank God the whole boat isn't rotten, which is what we're finding. It was only this side, but just a big project. And I'm glad that I have a team around me that can help me fix this stuff properly, because I'm good at the mechanical, electrical side of things, but when it comes to fit, finish, paint, fiberglass, gel coat work, I am not the best at it. So anyway, I'm very grateful for the team that can do this. Now, granted, my budget for repairing this hull side is, it's not 100 grand, and let me tell you, that's not what I'll be paying for this to be fixed. But when it's all said and done, I'll recap the costs. Just know I've got about $60,000 into the boat so far. Here we go. Wet, dry, no delamination, delaminated. And we're hoping as we go further down the hull side that, again, here up dry, here down, or where there was a through hull down, is where the wetness is. So we're getting there. I'll probably get some time-lapse footage of Jose continuing to cut and grind out the areas that are delaminated, see how much we actually have to remove from this hull side. This ledge right here is the next step of hull coring. I'm not going into this ledge because nothing is delaminated up there. There's no cracking. We've sounded it. We've tested it with a moisture meter. There's actually a hard fiberglass line inside here that has kept moisture from going to this balsa section up into that balsa section. So that is a positive side of all this. But really, I mean, it's amazing. Look at this. I have a screw head through the inside here, because things are screwed on the inside into the coring. That's probably not the best thing, so I'll have to go and fix that. There's a bunch of screws. I'm sure it's fit and finish for the bed up forward. But yeah, look how, look how thin that inner liner is. You can just push on it. The bulkheads aren't, and it just flexes. We are well on our way to pretty much the most we're gonna cut away from this boat in general. So currently, you guys can see, they've actually chipped out into the secondary layer of coring where there was a fiberglass barrier, but because this through hull anchor fitting, if you guys can see it there, which is the culprit for all of this, failed, there was some rot and wetness that went all the way down here, over, and then went across here where they had cut out that test strip, unfortunately. So it went partially up into this section of coring, but it didn't go very far. So this is all dry. Above this is dry, and then into the bow here, over to here is all dry. So that said, we got a little spider friend. Get out of here, dude. Get out. Come on. Got all sorts of spiders hanging out. So anyway, that's good. We've exposed all the bad stuff. We're getting into letting it dry out so we can insert our new piece of balsa coring. But most importantly, and then here you go, in the corner here, this piece needs to go away. He hasn't removed it yet, I guess because he stripped out this screw fitting. But again, we were into dry coring, delamination up to here, you can fix that, no delamination. And then back along to this section here where it's also dry. So all good coring, not delaminated, good hull side. But what I was gonna say is, we've made a decision around these through hull fittings. where the coring is wet, and it was partially delaminated, but we do have some dry coring. It gets dry very quickly. We're actually gonna use Coosa board around all these through hull fittings. So no more exposed balsa. This will be Coosa board. That way these through hulls will be protected and the wet coring cannot occur again. So he may have to cut some more coring out of these hull side sections, but in all honesty, the moisture meter is reading good in these sections. It's dry, as we can tell, as we cut more away. And then where the issue is, see, very much so, rotten coring. This was actually the air intake grate on the hull side. This was the drain for that section. Look at this. I mean, just completely rotten all around this. So he's gonna cut out, and it's delaminated as well, as you can see. I mean, at least a 1/4 inch delaminated off of the inner liner. So he's gonna cut out all this and then extend that aft. And again, Coosa board around this, so it's sealed, balsa coring around that, epoxy filled. And back here, same old, same old. But again, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do the same thing for the other hull side as well. That hull side is fine, it's solid, but around the through hulls, we're going to cut them out and then put Coosa board and then balsa coring around them. So that's currently where we sit. It's been a lot of R&R at the moment. This thing is gonna have pretty much a full new starboard hull side. That being said, we are gonna paint it, as I was mentioning when I talked about painting it to the followers. The consensus was so far to leave it green. I'm not gonna do that. I'm actually probably gonna make this a really pretty blue. So with that in mind, let me know what color blue you guys think I should use. I want to make sure this remains a really cool looking sport fish. So that accent line up there, the green and yellow or gold, is going to be removed. The Pursuit logo will be gone. I'll put a new Pursuit logo. We'll paint from the carriage up. On my tuna tower, probably black, or the carriage seat up, we're gonna paint that black. Make this real sporty. Somebody suggested painting it a nice cool gray with a burnt orange boot stripe, like a pretty popular Viking that is out there, but I don't know if I wanna go that bold. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. But like I was saying, on this side, you know, this is all really solid. It's not delaminated. But around these through hulls, we're gonna cut them out and do Coosa board no matter what. So we're not having an issue further in the future on the port hull side. So anyway, that's as it sits currently. And then on the back side here, I think we'll still keep the name. I don't know, we'll see. I may change the name. But once it's painted a really pretty blue, or gray, or whatever it might be, wrap the transom in like a cool wood graphic with the name on top and make it look very sporty. So just so you guys can see, I got my moisture meter here. That is I don't even know if you can see that. I may have to go to darker. That's a baseline. It's saying like 23% moisture. It's 2 bars of green in the dry realm. Up here it's 17. As I get towards the through hull fitting, 24, still dry, 12, 5. So, I mean, that's, you can even, here, that's a very dry, hard through hull fitting. And then I go to the fiberglass here, 7%, 8%, 8%, 8%. That's all solid fiberglass. But then if I go like this through hull fitting, which I know is wet, yeah, see that? 33%, 30%. So 3 bars on the dry to wet ratio. There's another wet through hull fitting. So that one's at 27, 28. So not terrible. This one here, yeah, 35. Yeah, so it's good. We're gonna cut these out, but if I go a little higher, now we're down in the 20s. So this side is all good to go. Yeah, all these through hulls will get cut out, but then the hull side, 28, 3, literally 3%, 4%, 3%. So this port hull side is in really good shape. 15%, still fine. 3% up top there. So that's good to know. If I come back to the transom here, 8%, 14%. Then we go into solid glass, 10, 12, 13. So yeah, that's all good baseline of moisture. But then I will show you something that I haven't gotten to yet. We have talked about it actually, but these hatches all need to be redone. I haven't gotten to that yet. I'm gonna pull those after Jose's all done and have him redo each one by one to keep things simple. But then if I walk forward here, I actually have a soft spot in the deck right here. So those other two spots need to be rebedded and cored. I'm gonna talk to Jose, but I think we're gonna do Coosa board around those tower posts. But let's see, like if I come over to this side, which I know is solid, it's at 11, 14, 14. If I come to this side, where it's literally spongy to walk on, 33, 21, 28. So yeah, that needs to be rebedded and record on that section. Outside of that, I've got dry rot around my rod holders. So I'll redo each of those rod holders from the back side again. We'll do Coosa board all along. Instead of disrupting the non-skid, we'll do Coosa board fixes on the back side to fix that moisture issue. But it's old boat problems. But I'm glad that we're able to tackle it. People can learn from it, especially with these old Tiaras and Pursuits. Well, all right, we are in it now. They have all the surfaces ground and prepped. There's green dust everywhere, and they are about ready to start laying in new coring, epoxy it to the inner liner. There's a little more rot here to chip out, and then they will be ready to start putting Coosa in around through hull fittings where those rags are, and glass in all of the new coring pieces. This is crazy to see the boat like this. And don't think it's going to be green for very long. We're actually going to repaint the whole boat, as I've talked about, and I think we've decided on the color and the boot stripe and the scheme and all of it. So I'll leave that for a little bit later. You'll have to watch further in the video to figure out what color we're going to paint it. And I'm not sure if I'm going to make this a 1-part or 2-part video. We'll see. I may cap this off after the hull side repairs are completed, and then make the repainting process another video. Either way, this is insane. We got our makeshift tent. We got freaking green dust everywhere. These guys have been wearing respirators every day getting this done. It's gonna be a whole new boat by the time it's complete, and hopefully I can get some time-lapse footage of them putting it all back together. And in the meantime, I need to get the bottom painters in here and have them bang out the Interprotect epoxy layers before it gets too cold, because temperatures are dropping fast. I need to save, probably need to save one of these hull side pieces as a souvenir, because I don't think those are going to go back on the boat. You're doing great, buddy. Somebody mentioned too that I should switch out my props from these 3 blades to 4 blades to get rid of some of the prop disturbance. I may actually do that, but that may be a separate venture. This project itself has me pretty extended on resources at the moment. So maybe down the road we'll swap out props with 4 blades. As she sits now, it's behind me. We've got a whole lot going on as far as getting it ready to make the next step, but you'll have to tune in next time. We're gonna make this a multi-part video. Thank you guys for watching. As always, like and subscribe to the channel, and tune in next time because there is a lot more progress to look at for this hull side repair, and I'm not gonna step in there because we are well on our way to finishing this big job. But like I said, I'm gonna have to save one of these panels as a relic and put it on the garage wall because these will not go back onto the boat. It's got a whole new fiberglass liner and coat that's going on. So appreciate you guys watching. All right, we'll see you next time.